week one of the fantasy football season here, and it's go time for fantasy owners, and the football season is start. But here's a few quarterbacks I would bench here in week one. The first guy, Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins. Tua here last season, an up and down year in his full first season as a starter over there in Miami. And now this week here in week one, he's got a tough matchup versus Bill Belichick's New England Patriot defense. And this defense here is an opportunistic defense here in New England. And they feast on young quarterbacks. And that's exactly what Bill Belichick has this defense doing for many seasons now. Any young quarterback, it's pretty much going to be a tough day for that quarterback and tough sledding to get anything going. And this Patriot team last season, up there in turnovers caused, and I'm going to see them in this ball game again get to the quarterback early and often. Got a few 3-and-outs in this game, and I think Tua could turn the ball over a few times as well. So right here, Tua, I think his ceiling in this ball game is probably 15, 18 points at most for fantasy owners with a tough matchup. I know he's got good weapons with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and Edmonds out of the backfield and Mike Gesicki. But still, they're going to take Tyreek Hill out of the game plan, in my opinion, is New England, because that's Bill Belichick's MO. Usually take out the best playmaker on a team's offense and let the other guys try to beat them, and that's exactly what's going to happen in this one. So right here, I think it's going to be a tough day for Tua. It's a division ball game to start with as well, obviously, in the AFC East, and I just don't see him getting anything going. So this week, I would bench Tua. The next quarterback I would bench this week's Kirk Cousins of the Minnesota Vikings. So he's got a tough matchup versus the Green Bay Packers here in week one, where he's had an up-and-down career with the division rival Packers, is Kirk Cousins. But this season, I think Cousins is going to have a big year. They're going to be more of a pass-happy offense, believe it or not, in Minnesota, with Justin Jefferson, who's been a monster the first 2 seasons of his career. Adam Thielen, still one of the better possession receivers in the league, in my opinion. Then you got Dalvin Cook in the backfield. Jalen Reagor, they added in a trade. Irv Smith Jr., tight end. So a lot of good weapons. But this matchup here, I think, could be a shootout. But I think it's going to be more of a Dalvin Cook type of ball game more than anything here in this one for this Minnesota Viking team. I think Cousins still has a good game, but to have expectations of him scoring 25, 30 fantasy points, I think he'll fall short of that mark this week here. I think 20, 22 fantasy points he'll still get, which is decent, but there's so many good quarterbacks and a lot of good matchups here in week one where I would just shy away from Kirk Cousins a little bit. I think overall this season he'll have over 30 passing touchdowns again. Anywhere from 4,500 to 5,000 yard range, I think Cousins could get. But here in week one, I'm going to hold back a little bit and bench him if I got better options. Obviously, if you're in a 2-quarterback league or a 16-team league or something, then you're going to start Kirk Cousins. But right now, in a 10 or 12-team league, I wouldn't start him. And the final quarterback I will bench this week, Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. So right here, it's going to be a tough matchup versus a good Tampa Bay Buck defense here in week one for Dak Prescott. I know last season in the opener versus Tampa Bay, he had a good fantasy day. But to be honest here, Dak last year, he feasted on the bad teams. And the good teams is where he struggled. So right now, he's down a few weapons from last season to this season. The O-line's banged up. Tyron Smith, he's possibly out for the season. Lyle Collins, they cut. He's off the roster. Ezekiel Elliott, I don't know what we're going to get from him this season over there in Dallas. Michael Gallup's hurt. Amari Cooper traded. So it's pretty much Dalton Schultz, CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard as a weapon out of the backfield over here for Prescott. And the Bucs here, I think they're going to get the job done and do that to this Cowboy offense. They're going to make them one-dimensional, and especially if the Bucs get off to an early start here, they could start teeing off on them. So this Buck team, they're hungry after losing last season in the playoffs to the Los Angeles Rams. They want to get back on track, and here week one versus the Cowboys, who have a shaky offensive line and not a lot of weapons on the offense. It's going to be a tough day here for Dak Prescott, and he might get sacked 3 or 4 times in this one as well, and I only think he's going to score 15, 20 fantasy points at most. So with a tough matchup, lack of weapons, and the Bucs here ready to go, I think I would bench Dak Prescott this week. So that's a few quarterbacks I would bench here for week one of the fantasy football season.